and the YouTube. I'm the Top Man and welcome back to some more Omnifactory. Hello and welcome back, guys. It's been a couple of days since the last two episodes were recorded, and having sat back and just chilled out a little bit, it was getting slightly frustrating, especially with all of this nonsense over here. It's working. It's working, guys. That's the main thing. And it keeps running out of pipes. I think there's a 1% chance of it breaking, yet it keeps running out of pipes. And, of course, we're not getting anywhere near enough sulfuric naphtha to be able to deal with that. So let me really quickly go into here and we'll get some more pipes on the go. I'm pretty sure I made some. Yeah, I did. I pre-crafted some. Another point in time, so we'll go ahead and put those in there and get the naphtha flowing once more. Hopefully, eventually, we will get a backup or a backlog of this naphtha in here. But it seems to be, actually, that it might go down in power, but this actually fills up with oil quicker than the power gets used. So what happens is the power doesn't obviously get used, and it sort of backs itself back up again. I will, of course, sort all this out with conduits and stuff like that. Conduit facades and what have you. We've got a lot of other stuff. So we've got sulfuric heavy fuel and sulfuric light fuel. We've got the sulfuric naphtha, which is obviously getting taken out. And we've got some sulfuric gas. I don't know what the other ones are used for, but we'll keep an eye on that. So what have I done in between episodes? Well, guys, I hate coming in here now because all I seem to do is just get massive amounts of eggs. I'm going to have to sort them chickens out. So if we go upstairs... Oh, that was a bit of lag. If we go upstairs, if you take a look here, we're at 3,500 RF per tick, which is not too bad, actually. It's roughly just over half the amount of power that we're fully creating here. Are you serious? I don't know. Yeah, I make things look decent, and then somebody comes along and just plonks something right in the middle of the floor. But anyways, that being said, if we come over here, you can see that we've actually got a full tank of epoxy resin. We've also nearly got a full reactor full of epoxy resin as well. But it's good that we've got a full naphtha. And is this full? No, I think this is what needs backing up into, is that to be able to make the sulfuric and the naphtha and so on and so forth. So with that in mind then, nitrogen dioxide is something that we haven't got any of. I can't remember where I did the nitrogen dioxide setup. Was this it? Yeah. So we mustn't have enough nitrogen coming through, but that's absolutely fine. We're not going to use anywhere near that much at the moment anyways. So let's come over here because we've got another set of another ME interface, which I've figured out how it works, guys. Basically, I've got to come into the priority and set it to 1,000 first to be able to show that it's there. And then once I've got the stuff in here, I can then put it back down to 201. That seems to work for me, so brilliant. It allows me to stock up now on the next set of circuits. Now, I do have to go through the entire lot of these to be able to change all the circuits out once more. But do you know what? At the moment, it's absolutely fine. I'm just going to leave it as is. Now, eventually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these molecular assemblers because I do believe you can actually name these. And this is something that, that I haven't done up to this point. But I believe you can name... somehow you can name these guys. I don't know how you do it. Maybe you put a name tag on there or something. I don't know. But yeah, I know you can name these a specific thing. Or maybe, in fact, I think it's the... Is it these you can name? Oh my goodness. Where? Is it this that you can name? I don't know what you can name, but you can name something. I promise you, I'm not just making this up. You can name it. I've seen people name their different alloy smelters certain things. And then, of course, you'll be able to find it a lot easier. So if you're looking for the plate machine or, something to do with a specific plate, or without typing it up here, you can just visually see where things belong. Also, if we come out here and around the back here, you can see I've added a whole load of more of these crafting storages. So now we can have up to 14 different things on craft at the same time. The only problem is if it's crafting in these back ones, you cannot see it being crafted. It's a little bit of a pain, but it's better than the alternative. That is for sure. Going upstairs then, you can see that we've got something else that's been added onto this row, this HV row, and that is a brand new thing called the chemical bath. And this is actually with the epoxy resin being extracted into here, and this makes fibre reinforced epoxy resin sheets. If we take a look at the quest book in the mid game, you can see all of this. We've got the EV assembling machine now, but I've also managed to get the epoxy sheet, obviously, the epoxy substrate. Is now there to make the epoxy circuit boards. And I've just lost the page that I was at. There we go. And then the fibre reinforced epoxy substrate. So the fibre reinforced epoxy resin sheets go into a chemical bath with raw carbon fibres, and that's what makes these. Now, these can actually then be put into the chemical reactor, again with sulfuric acid and copper foil, to make fibre reinforced circuit boards. So they're really not that hard to craft. The only issue is it's led us onto this one, and we need an EV assembling machine. And unfortunately, we don't have an EV assembling setup or row just yet. You can also see that I've made some changes as per X's recommendations to change everything out of these fluid interfaces. So instead of using these guys, the fluid export buses, we're actually using fluid interfaces. These are going to be kept stocked and so on and so forth. So we've got a line of HV assembling machines just to make things a little bit quicker for us. And all of these has, as you can see, the refined circuit in there, but it's got the next tier of circuit up. Realistically, I don't think we're going to be creating these at the same time, but that's not going to matter anyway once I've gone through and changed all the different recipes to the different processing things that we need, the different circuits that we're going to need here. So we've got all of this in here as per usual, and then we've got the mainframes, we've got the arrays, we've got the processors, and we've got just all of these different rotors inside there as well. And on the back there, I've taken the MV assembly machines here, and I've moved them over to this side so that we're splitting things up a little bit more. I don't think we ever are using these resistors anymore. I don't think we're using these in any recipes, but I'm leaving them there anyway. And thanks to the problems that we were having with 16 times cable in the last episode, I've gone ahead and split all of the cables up into their respective ones, and you can see they've got, well, you can't really see it in there, you're going to have to go underneath to be able to see this one, but they've got the respective circuit inside there that will allow everything to sort of happen as well. So I don't know why that's right the way over there, but as you can see, we're getting quite full over here, especially over here with the titanium these frames. We will have to, I think, we will move the rest of these out and just have this one as frames, and then we should be fine on that front. Over here, guys, I don't know if I've shown you this. This is where we put our tungstate dust. I just shove it in here, and this turns it into tungsten dust itself, so then we can go ahead and make some more tungsten. Tungsten steel and tungsten carbide, that's going to be the holding point at the moment, and I'll tell you why. We are full. I mean, this area is absolutely chock-a-block. Maybe I could create some space around here, but we're absolutely chock-a-block on this floor with the amount of blast furnaces that we've got. And I've had an idea that maybe somewhere else we can have just a big room. So over in a previous episode, you will have seen, if I can find my way out, there is a way out here that I don't have to tangle with those chickens. So behind Jeff's up here, guys. Has he moved? Oh yeah, I never even noticed. I went in the front door and I never even noticed that Jeff's moved. Where is it? It's still looking for his baguette. Oh, Jeff. So around the back here, we've got this massive space round the back, and if we take a look in our claimed chunks, it's just on the outside, but I think we can go ahead and we can shift right. Is it shift right click? Oh, maybe I've run out of space now. Oh no, there we go. I've got to claim it first and then chunk load it. So if we claim all of this I can't chunk load anymore. It shouldn't matter too much because I think this is where the building is. So we can come in here, we can clear this building out. We can probably get some walls on this place because, I mean, look at the state of it. And we can use this bottom floor here as another area where we can just put loads and loads of blast furnaces doing all sorts of different things, different bits and bobs inside there. Look at this. I really do love the look of what we've managed to achieve. When you look at it from this direction here, what we've managed to achieve is really insane. It really is absolutely insane what we've managed to do. So yeah, I think that's probably what the plan will be. And maybe, in fact, because we've done nothing inside here. It's not quite big enough though. And I've just heard a skelly, so let's get out of here. I've also added to this setup inside here. We've got more things going through. Everything from the tier 1 and tier 2 microminers now could just be put into here and it will automatically get sorted out. However, very slowly. The purified stuff going through the thermal centrifuges. Why is that actually? There must be something somewhere. There. Why you no do? Oh, okay, that's why. It's when I was sorting the copper out. I forgot to turn it back on. What a clown. Look at the amount of gold we're going to have as well, guys. It's going to be great. So, yeah, anything that we get from Tier 1 and Tier 2 microminers will now be put through here. And, oops, we want to put that back because that's going to get smelted up. And we could put... Oh, yeah, that was already on my person. We could put an ME interface on there, but the only problem is this is like the default chest, so anything that gets sorted goes back into here first, and then it will go out into the other machines should they need to. So that's pretty much how this whole thing is working. Have we not got gold on smelting duties? Have we not got gold? This is interesting because I don't know if I've even put gold in here. I haven't. Okay, that means we'll need another furnace really, really quickly. What is this? Is it HV? It's an advanced electric furnace 2. I think that is indeed a furnace, a high voltage furnace. Yeah, it is. So we'll go ahead and craft one of them really quickly, and we'll get that doing that. So we'll get some item conduits. We will get some item filters. That is the key to how this is going to work. And we don't need anything else at the moment. Sometimes you need fluid conduits, but we won't need that for this. So the furnace shouldn't take too long to craft because everything should be somewhat half in stock anyways. So it shouldn't take too long to craft it. I say that, guys. It's taking an absolute age. What? Rubies, okay. It's probably making some rubies, but other than that, I think it's fine. So furnace. Let's just put furnace in. I think it'll come up eventually. We've got an MV one, but that's not going to make any use for us. So what I'll do is I'll get this ready. Stick that there. I don't know. We can't do that without a machine actually. So we're still going to be waiting on this furnace. And there we go. It's crafted. It didn't take too much longer after that. So we'll stick that on there. Now, by default, it's off, which is great. That's how I like it. So we'll stick a filter in there. And we'll grab some of that gold dust out. And we'll make sure that gets put into here first. So I didn't want to do that. Gold dust into there. Now, that's the filter all set up. So that we can say, right, insert that, please. It should still insert it, even though it's not this bit's not done. So it should still insert the gold. There you go. Look, it's still inserting the gold. It's just not going to take it off while this is on. So we'll put that as always active, and we'll make sure that priority is in fact 1, so that it gets put into here first before it gets put into anything else. And I've got to make sure that all of these are in fact on 1 priority. That's the one thing that I keep forgetting to do, which is really, really annoying. Right, I think everything is now priority 1, so that's good. This should still be priority 0. Let's have a quick look. Now, if you shift and left click where that thing is, it pops up. So yeah, it is priority 0. And I've also put some extract speed upgrades in there just to make things move a little bit quickly. So I'm not going to put any more stuff in there, mainly because we're absolutely backed up on copper and redstone. Now, copper and redstone actually do go through the same thermal centrifuge, as you can probably see here. Look, copper and redstone. That's why it's not going through. And of course, I turned it off because I'm a clown. But yeah, that's how that one is going to work. Now, this smaller storage crate here, here. It doesn't attach to anything. It doesn't go anywhere. But anything I do get from tier 2 or tier 1 microminers gets shoved in this small storage crate. And then when this is sort of caught up and empty, I then move it from here into there and then let it all start again whilst I'm off camera, and let it all sort of do in the background whilst we're not floating around the place. So, I forgot about that little system that we've got there. Is this needed? This separate line? Probably not, but I'm going to keep it there anyway. I think it's going to make life much easier with the oil and all that jazz, So looking at this, guys, I said next episode what we're going to do, and this is not by no means the end of this episode at the moment, but next episode we're going to come back and we will start getting into some of this basic reactor nonsense and this fission reactors. I've never dealt with any of this fission reactor and stuff like that, so it'd be really, really interesting to see how this actually works. So yes, definitely want to do that on camera with you guys. But this is what I mean. Tungsten carbide heavy plating. The Empowerer can be made at this point, which is quite nice. IV machine hulls. Vanadium gallium, which is actually easier to craft than what you think. So it needs hot vanadium gallium ingots, which require gallium ingots. Now, we've got loads of gallium. And in fact, I think it's from copper or something that was recently a bauxite, I think it might have been actually, that I've put through the system over in the big place at the other side there. That actually gets us quite a bit of gallium. So now we've got no problems with gallium whatsoever. And vanadium is so cheap to be able to get. If you... vanadium ingots, for instance. Oh, it might not be vanadium, actually. Hot vanadium dust. Is it vanadium magnetite? I see. Okay, so it does have to be pulverized down, does the magnetite. We've got a lot of this purified vanadium magnetite, so it literally just needs to be pulverized down, and we get the vanadium from that as well. Probably something that we can put through the system at some point in the near future. I want to get a tier 3 microminer. I really do want to get a tier 3 microminer. This will allow us to get... it won't be this one. We don't want the gemstone one, but this one. So shearlite, more of the shearlite, which is great. Tungstate. Look at the amount of tungstate that we get from that. 3 piles of tungstate, which is good. Rutile, which is already going through the system anyway. Vanadium magnetite. There we go. So we don't have to buy this stuff anymore. Tetrahedrite, which I'm presuming we can sort of change down into the possibility of doing the titanium tetrahedrite or whatever it's called. I can't remember. Hopefully. I don't know. Just hopefully that's the case, but maybe not. Right, cassiterite, tin, redstone, but the biggest thing for me is the Certus quartz. The nether Certus quartz, this is going to be huge. I don't think we've got a reliable source at the moment of Certus quartz. Even though we don't use that much of it, we need a more reliable source of this, so that's definitely something we want to do. It's still done in the small microverse projector as well, which is fantastic. And if we take a look at the old thingy here, the quest line, if we look at the progression, we are doing so well, and it doesn't look like we are, but honestly I didn't even think we'd get to this spot, so we have done so well to be able to get to this. Now the tier 3 microminer is actually here, which is why we need the tungsten carbide heavy plating. Now, tungsten carbide itself, I haven't got on any form of auto crafting. I haven't got some to keep in stock or anything like that. If you take a look, tungsten carbide is this one. Okay, so we've got 1 ingot of tungsten carbide. Now, I want to keep 16 in stock at all times. This is going to take a while to be able to craft, guys. This is why I like to keep it in stock at all times. Oh, it might not take a while. Oh no, it's just making the tungsten. It's still got to make the tungsten carbide first. But we'll get 16 and we'll put that over in here so we can constantly keep 16 tungsten carbide in stock. Oh, we might put it in that end one, who knows. We'll keep 16 tungsten carbide. It's not a lot, guys. It is not a lot. The amount of times I run out of titanium, I've got 16 in stock here. The amount of times I run out of that is madness. What I may do in the end is do something very similar as what I've got here. But instead of keeping 500 in stock, so instead of keeping it in here, I think we'll have some form of maybe some like a storage drawer or something that can hold up to, I don't know, 500 or something in there, and then use that as the storage rather than using the actual internal storage here of the system. Because if we can stop things from going into the system proper, that means that we're going to have more space for stuff like gold ingots and all the rest of the other ingots that are going to end up. We've got loads and loads of silver. That's absolutely crazy. So the tungsten is going to get made up here, and I think the tungsten carbide actually goes into this part. Yeah, tungsten and carbon right there, and it takes a good while. So guys, I'll be back when I've got 16 tungsten carbide. Okay, seconds for you, about half an hour for me. We've got 16 tungsten carbide ingots. Now, tungsten carbide ingots, that's great. Let's stick them into the end there. Now, I always make sure that, I mean, we could make another 16 if I just took those 16 out and may end up with 32. Probably not a bad idea, seeing as that to make tungsten carbide plating, it requires 2 of the tungsten carbide plates, which of course, if we put them in the compressor, 1-to-1 ratio, to get a tier 3 microminer, which is this one here, we need an absolute ton of these. So basically you're looking at 2 per 1, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. So it's probably a good idea to take those 16 out, get 32 on the crack, and always have 32 in stock. We'll see whether or not they're here, so I'm presuming we do have the stock available to be able to make 32 of those in total. So once that's done, I'm going to keep these on my person, and we're going to leave them there for the moment. But we'll start going ahead and making some of the recipes needed for our tungsten carbide stuff. So tungsten carbide, we've got tungsten steel, but we haven't got tungsten carbide. That is not how you spell tungsten carbide. I can't hardly see it against this backdrop, but there is tungsten carbide, right? Tungsten carbide plate. So there it is. Tungsten carbide plates. They go into the compressor, of course, as one would expect. Have we got room? Oh, we've just got room. However, we then don't have room for the heavy plating, which is really, really annoying. So, tungsten carbide. Where? Tungsten. Oh, it's 2 separate words in this one. It requires 2000 EU per tick. Now, I do believe that is still HV. This is what I always do to find out. Yeah, 2048. So it is, in fact, EV, not HV. So we need an EV line for the compressors. Now, that's not a bad thing. It's not a terrible thing, because the compressors, the higher it runs, obviously, the faster it goes. We've already got a HV here. It's just a simple case of upgrading that to an EV, and then the line to an EV, which I believe is end steel, and then all of these compressors to EV compressors as well. So let's take a look. See, we've got the compressors. Compress. Okay, so we've only got HV compressors on there. The EV compressor, singularity compressor. Oh my goodness gracious me. Okay, the good thing about upgrading our circuits, don't forget, is that instead of having to use refined processor mainframes, if you leave it a little bit there, we can use the next tier along, which is the next tier down. So we're not actually using as many resources to get the same thing back. So what we want to do, if that makes sense, guys, what we want to do is take them out, and we want to grab a couple of these arrays right here. We'll put them back. It's going to probably start crafting some more in the background there, but it'll be fine. And we've got EV got singularity compressor, which is great. Now, I don't believe I've got enough room for this for this guy, actually. There's all these machines here. Oh, I do. There's one right there, which is good, actually, because refined circuits, microprocessor arrays. Singularity compressors. Singularity compressor. Now, we need 4 of these to replace what we've got upstairs. Seems like we've got everything in stock, so I'm going to get that going, and we will leave it to it and wait until we get everything that we need. All right, I think we've got everything on hand here for all of these singularity compressors. Let's go ahead and make the change up here. So it's these, the advanced compressor 2s, that are going to be taken out for all of the other things. So we want to take out the advanced compressor first. In fact, we're probably going to want to put that over there, and we'll do one at a time think, because we're going to end up with loads of encoded patterns otherwise. So we want to do that. We don't want that one there actually. That one can stay where it is. So we want to change the CEF and change all of this underneath. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Only 4 needed to be changed anyway. So we don't want to go ahead and change all of the wire. We only want to do that one at a time, because if we take the if we put the wire into this machine, it'll just burn up, and we don't want that to happen. So let's go ahead and put the CEV just down there, along with our, well, we'll put that vibrant alloy cable just over this side here. We'll put the end cable there. So this is the EV cable this time, and I want that out of the way as well. And we want the new compressor in here. Of course, it needs to be wrenched. It needs to be screwdrivered. And of course, it needs the orange button being pressed. Let's go and shove the ME interface on the top. And then we can just go ahead and shove in all of those. And that is one upgraded and done. And it's literally just the same sort of thing all the way across here we need to do. And we need to add in, of course, I think we need to add in one more compressor. I think the compressors were full. Is that correct? I think they were in fact full. So we might need another compressor as well to add into this. So let me go ahead and get that. And there we go. We've got our extra compressor. We need to get rid of this. We need to put the compressor down there. And of course, we've got to make sure that we've wrenched, screwdrivered, and opened it up for automation. And we literally just need to put that on top. Let that connect to the system. It's taking longer and longer for things to connect to the system now. I'm presuming because it's such a massive system, that I'm really not surprised by that at all. But once it's connected, it's still pretty quick, so I'm not too fussed about that one. And then we need to go ahead and say to it, look, tungsten carbide. Oh wait, let me just try putting carbide in this thing. So tungsten carbide heavy plating, we need to go ahead and change that up. So 2 of them makes 1 of them. Lovely jubbly. And if we look at our compressors, we should see there's one compressor that's just completely empty, this one up here, and we just pop that into there. So now we've got access to tungsten carbide heavy plating. So how I've been doing this, guys, let me grab one of these ME interfaces. I also want one of these storage buses. Not this fluid one, but the normal one. And some more of this ME glass cable. I think 3 pieces might be enough. It may be enough for what we want to do, which will be okay. So we come over here. We're going to slap that there. Now, immediately, I am going to want the priority, because look at this. This is how we're doing the priority. I'm going to want to set this priority to 1,000. We're going to go also put a storage bus just on the side of there. And that will go ahead and do that. Also, a good thing I like to do, because the problem sometimes is you get stuff in these things that you don't want in there. So you can see that we've got a blank space here. Sometimes, especially with the priority set so high, they'll pop into this ME interface, and we don't want that. The way that you can do this is just to partition the storage and tell it what can and cannot go into that storage bus. So there you go. As it turns out, actually, that didn't make any difference. I don't know why things aren't starting to go in there, but this is partitioned, and I do believe that this is partitioned as well to a certain degree. It's not got everything in there, but we'll go ahead and partition the rest as well, and that'll be fine. So we're going to do it similar to this thing over here now, and we're going to start work on the tier 3. This thing. We want certain things kept in stock at all times, so that we could just come along, grab everything we want, and that's kept in stock. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 heavy carbide. So carbide, we want to get 15 of these and let that do that. Now the compressor should make light work of that, to be honest. Mind you, it is an EV recipe, so it might take a little bit longer. Yeah. So that'll take its time. Okay, we've got 15 tungsten carbide heavy plating. That's done the quest as well, which is nice. Now, I'm going to test this out by just putting 15 into there, and then we'll rehash the priority down to 201. Now, in the background, not necessarily on one of these, it may be on one of the back ends, it might be crafting some more tungsten carbide things for us. Apparently not. So it seems that we've already got that same issue sometimes that we seem to have, where it's not crafting. anything. So, well, let's take a look at this. I mean, this one worked. We can see everything's getting stocked here and here as well. 201, 201, 201. Oh, I didn't put a crafting card in, of course. So that's why it's not doing it. Just one old crafting card. There we go, fantastic. Now we should see that take place. So we put that in there, and we should see some of it being crafted. So there's that being crafted there. Let's see if it's going to be crafted on some of these at the back here. That's titanium. That's the circuits. It doesn't seem to be crafting the tungsten carbide. Oh, do you know what it'll be? I don't know if we've got enough. Wait, carbide. If it can't craft, there we go, look, we're missing tungsten dust. So if it can't craft it, it just won't do it. An easy way to find out whether or not this is working is just to put the 15 that we've already got in there. And because we've got the storage thing, it should show that we've already got 15 tungsten carbide in stock. So if we type in carbide, it doesn't. Okay, so let me try this another way. And let's whack that up to 1201 once more. It still doesn't. I don't think it's this, actually. Is it this? No, because that's on 0 as well. Oh, there we go. It's showed up as in stock now. I'm wondering if we can take that back down and it'll sort itself out to 0. Is that correct? Yeah. I don't know. I literally do not understand the whole priority thing of this. I don't know. However, if we take some out of that, it will go ahead and craft. If we take one out of there, for instance, let's take one out and put one back in there. It should start crafting one up. It's trying to craft 8. Of course, because I went ahead and took all half a stack out. But it just shows that it's working. And it's put it back into there as well, which is great. So that is how we do what we're doing. So if we take a look, finally, at the Tier 3 Microminer, what I'm going to do, guys, you can see here we've got feed generators, some MV ones, we've got some titanium chests. All of this sort of stuff needs to be kept on autocraft in this one. This is where our tier whatever microminers are going to be. And we just come along, swipe everything out of here, pick it all out, and then we can just go ahead, shove it straight into there, and it will go ahead and do its work. And that's exactly what we're doing over here with this, and over here with this as well. Now the tier 2, before I disappear, the tier 2 microminer, that gives us tungstate, right? Yes, it does. So let's grab all of that. And we can craft one of these tier 2 microminers. I think it's in here. We just do that, and everything obviously in the inventory is already there. Plus the quantum flux here, and I think we could just go ahead and shove that into the item input. And that will go ahead, and you can see it's progressing there. I can't really get behind to see it, but hopefully nothing's going to happen with the power. It hasn't since I fixed it, at least. So when it gets to the end, and that's literally what we do with the tier 1, tier 2, and everything's starting to craft itself back again, so that there'll be a microminer. There we go, look at that, and everything's in there for another tier 2 microminer in the future should we need it. And again, this is the same for this interface. Let's hope this is going to be full of everything we need for the tier 3 microminers. So I'm missing an input item. It's all finished. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and grab everything out of here. That's great. I'm going to shove this stuff away. I'm going to leave that in my inventory. But everything else, I think radium, salt, I just put into the system. And then everything else, we go to the ore room. And let me clear this out first. It seems that we're still not doing the redstone ore. I don't know why. Maybe it's just extremely slow, possibly. shove all that away. Yeah, we're not getting through this redstone ore very quickly. Let's see if it's still running. Everything is still going. It's just extremely, extremely slow. Now, eventually, what we'll do is these are only HV machines, obviously. All these will need to be upgraded to EV, IV, all that sort of things, just to make it a lot quicker than they currently are. And obviously, redstone seems to be the one that's taking an absolute age here. And redstone is paired with copper. Okay, so that's not too bad. We do have some copper in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take all of this, guys, and I'm going to shove it all into here. And it should, in theory, all get sorted out to where it needs to get sorted out to get macerated up. The copper will get macerated. The shearlite will get macerated. All of this sort of stuff will all get macerated and washed and all sorts. And then come back into this crate and it'll wait to go into where it needs to go into. And obviously the copper will just hang around in there for the moment, but everything else should start getting seen to. But we need some more of that tungstate because we do need more tungsten dust. And that's what the issue is at this current moment in time. So off camera, I think we're just going to go ahead and run through quite a lot of this tungsten dust to get some more tungsten and get a good backup of it going through into our system. Guys, that is the workings of how I've been doing everything as we've been going through this series. So hopefully you get more of an insight into how much work actually does go into here, because if you take a look at my statistics, 6.5 to 6.5 days I've been on this server for, and it's absolutely insane the amount of time that I've spent on here. So, you know, just here's a day in the life, I suppose, of Omnifactory. If you're wanting to play a pack and you don't want it to take a bucket's amount of time, do not play this pack because it will suck your life away, let me be quite honest, guys. But anyways, till next time, having the top man as always. Stay safe.